Good evening and welcome. Today's reading session will focus on Point Horror, a classic of the 90s. Old Collection, a terrifying trio in one, featuring Mother's Helper by A. Bates, The Invitation by Diane Hope, and Beach Party by R.L. Stine. We'll be starting with Mother's Helper. Hope you enjoy as we enjoy this evening of a Friday, together delving into the classics of the 90s and the 2000s. Chapter 1. Becky Collier listened for the baby as she rolled her shorts up and moved her towel further into the sunshine. What a way to earn expenses for college next year, she thought, closing her eyes against the sun. Working as a mother's helper on a romantic island, one well-behaved little boy to watch, a little housework. Time to work on my tan. I've got it made. Just think, she reminded herself smugly, I could be fog-bound in Seattle at this very moment, flipping burgers and grilling special orders. She made a face, and watching Jason flirt with my best friend. Ex-best friend, she amended. Best friends don't take guys away from each other. Not that Jason screamed in protest. The trees towered around her, silent and grim, the shadows green and mysterious. But the sun was gently warm and hypnotic, teasing her towards sleep. Becky could feel herself growing drowsy, so she rolled over and forced herself to stand up, stretching. She crossed the 20 feet to the cabin and peeked in Devon's window. He was curled up in his crib, his eyes closed, the middle two fingers of his right hand just slipping out of his mouth. Satisfied that he was napping peacefully, Becky resumed her spot on the towel. She rolled her t-shirt up, pulling the front up through the neck, tugging it snug, transforming the loose t-shirt into a huddle top. Then she closed her eyes again, relaxing, alert for any sound from Devon's room. The sudden crackle of twigs breaking didn't come from the direction of the baby's room, but Becky's eyes flew open anyway. Twigs only broke when stepped on, and no one was supposed to be around stepping on things. She leapt to her feet, pulling quickly on the front of her t-shirt, yanking her handiwork loose. She didn't see anyone, but there weren't any animals on the island, so it had to be a person. Someone was near. The silence and shadows seemed suddenly alive, vaguely threatening, and Becky was keenly aware that the nearest neighbor was half a mile downhill through the forest, too far away to hear if she called for help. Chapter 2. Becky glanced around, her heart pounding loudly. The snapping of twigs sounded again, to her right, and she whirled. The guy who emerged from the trees looked 17 or 18. He had curly brown hair, kind of long, and was dressed in faded ragged jeans and sturdy boots the locals wore. "Who are you?" Becky asked abruptly, embarrassed that he'd seen her hastily rearranging her clothes, and slightly uneasy at seeing a stranger suddenly appear in front of her. She glanced nervously towards Devon's window. "Cleve Davidson," he said, frowning. "I came. Where's John Hiller?" Becky had the odd feeling Cleve had been standing in the woods for some time, concealed, watching her. The thought made her uncomfortable, especially since that meant he'd seen her look in Devon's window. "Mr. Hiller rented the cabin," she said shortly. "To us." Mrs. Nelson had explained the island's reputation when she interviewed Becky for the job. "It's a little island called Sebastian," she said. "It's isolated, a place for people who want to get away. That's why I chose it. No one would ask questions, no one would pry." Wrong, Becky thought. Someone is prying. He may not be asking questions, but he was spying on me. I know he was. "Who Who's living here, anyway? Cleve asked. Just me and my aunt, Becky said quickly, hoping the lie didn't sound like one. Now he's asking questions too, she thought, crying, and it's time for Devon to get up. I've got to get this guy to leave. Nice hair, Cleve said. Becky reached behind her back, pulling aside a handful of honey brown hair. Thanks, she said, uneasily. People often commented on her hair. It was long enough to sit on, and she'd always enjoyed the friendly attention it brought her. But she wasn't sure she wanted friendly attention from Cleve. Have you ever cut it? He asked. Becky shook her head. For some reason, his question made her think of knives and the old movie where Jack Nicholson went insane in a remote forest-surrounded resort. Kind of like this one, she thought, glancing quickly around. It reminds me of Rapunzel, Cleve said. I'm not sure that was a happy ever after story, Becky thought, edging towards her towel. She picked it up. I always liked fairy tales, Cleve said. They always scared me, Becky thought, folding her towel, wishing he would leave and quit asking questions. The king always offered a wonderful reward, usually his daughter, but whoever failed in the quest was put to death. Have you been here long? He asked. Becky picked up her sunscreen and her book, hoping he would take a hint. 3.5 days, she said, and they love it, especially the sunshine. How do you like being alone? Becky frowned uneasily at the undertones in the question. People came to Sebastian Island for solitude, so supposedly she was here because she wanted to be alone. Of course, it wasn't Becky, but her employer who wanted the privacy. But Cleve couldn't know that. And to tell the truth, Becky admitted silently. All this being alone gets a bit weary. The baby is sweet, but Mrs. Nelson gets on my nerves for some reason. It's perfect, she said. Just what I wanted this summer. A lot of people come here to be alone, Cleve said, and find they don't like it. It's not that easy getting off this island. You have to wait for a ferry, unless you have your own boat. He paused, looking around. Becky couldn't read his face. I just happen to have my own boat, he added. Becky shuddered. The ride over on the ferry hadn't been too bad, but ferries were big. Their size made them safe. Regular boats were very small and didn't offer much protection from an entire ocean. I'll skip the boat ride, she thought. I guess I'd better be going, Cleve said. Look me up when you come to town. South End isn't very big, but it is a tourist-oriented town. There's lots to do. Maybe I could take you out for a sail on my boat. He headed back towards the trees. Becky headed back for the cabin. That was a strange encounter, she thought. I wonder if all the locals are that colorful. Don't forget the boat ride, Cleve called out after her. Becky shivered. I wouldn't mind a boat ride, she thought, if it didn't mean being on all that water. Swimming isn't my strongest skill, but I would like to get into town. I would like a break from Mrs. Nelson. I wonder when my days off are. I don't remember discussing time off. She sighed, looking around at the magnificent fir trees and the rugged hillsides. It doesn't look that different from Seattle, she thought, but there's something about being on an island. It's different, somehow. Cleve had a point. It's because I couldn't get away. Islands are very hard to escape from. It makes me feel a little bit like a prisoner. And if something went wrong, I'd really be stuck. She shivered, suddenly feeling alone, and very far from her family. Don't be silly, she told herself. What could go wrong? We shall continue with Chapter 3 next week. Join me. Friday evening, 8 p.m. as we continue the collection. A terrifying trio in one. Mother's helper. Good night to all.